Where's coffee? Where's the guy? All right. Woo! Good morning, friends. Woo! Tell you what. Every day is a trial. Every day is a struggle. Every day is a trial. Every day is a struggle. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh, it is. It's like you're experiencing what you're like watching is actual like pain and like mental agony, I guess. It's like you're watching someone who's going through the process of denial. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta get up in pain. It's not that it's not that I don't mind doing it. It's just like it's like you love doing it, but you hate it sometimes, right? It's like it's like it's like the job that you absolutely love. Like there's a job that you would love forever, and you're like. But even the job that you love doing forever, you're like, gosh, I do this every day. Just want to chill out and do this on my own time. But really, there is no own time, you know? You don't own time. Time is constant, right? And, so today, it's just going to be another day in paradise. The more I think about it, I want to have a smaller shape right here. I drew this giant mass here, and I'm like, I'm just going to leave this like that. But I think having like another one, so maybe one's going this way, maybe I have a little small mass going this way, like a little bitty, something like that, I don't know. Going this way, so I have like a little zigzag. But, every day has been very strong. I just feel like every day has been just so much. I'm just go. Like, you think with what's going on right now, I actually have less to do. I have more going on than ever. And partially because I've had to step up my art selling game, and partially because transferring art like to an online course is a little bit more time consuming. A lot more time consuming than I expected. You know, there's a lot more that I have to do. A lot more emails I gotta reply to. A lot more emails I gotta reply to. But yeah, I'm super busy. I gotta start kicking in an overdrive this weekend because I got a ton of portraits to start drawing. I can see the onset of carpal tunnel coming into place. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, so just one of those things. Every morning is a struggle, you know? Like I was upstairs before I went down to my studio, and I was like, I was getting sucked into the social media algorithm. Was like, I like this photo's interesting. I'm just going to keep scrolling down. Well, they have another photo that's interesting. Oh, this video is kind of funny, and it just kept feeding me this stuff that I like. And I was like, oh man, come on. I don't need to be looking at this. This is a waste of my time. I need to get downstairs and work. But you're doing a real good job at finding me what I like, I guess. A little dopamine drop. Dope. A little dopamine drop, right? You like this. This will make you happy. Kind of. Makes me happy in the acute, like in the immediate, and then after a while you're like, oh, after a while all those little blots of joy that you got from those photos or whatever, or those videos or whatever you're watching, whatever your Facebook feed was feeding you, or Instagram feed was feeding you, or Twitter feed was feeding you. After it's gone, man. You don't got anything to show for it. So that's probably one of the reasons why I've been painting, you know? Is because after the time is gone, what do I have to show for it? Well, I have this. I have something that is tangible, that is here, you know, something that I spent time on. I could say I'm proud of it. I don't know, like, I don't think this is just like an artist thing. I don't think any artist is really proud of their piece, their final pieces. You know, they're done, completed pieces. They're always like, they always kind of dislike them. I think probably because they only see what's wrong, and they don't look at what's positive about the piece. So I guess what I could say about what's positive about my pieces is that they're there, they're alive. No, not alive, but they exist. They've been made. They're done. That's a good part. That's a good part, like being done. So that's one good part about having a piece, it being done. I do have to say though, I did not. I think it was like the first shape I did on these panels, or maybe the second one, and I don't like the shape. It's weird. It's not even that good of a shape. It reminds me of a bean. It's too much of a bean, is what I'm trying to get to you. Express here. It's too much of a bean. Too much of a bean, that's for sure. I am always tired in the morning. It's just a natural fact. Just going to have to accept it and just be tired, you know. Oh, got nothing to say. Doing a lot of portrait drawing, and so like that's what I end up doing at the end of the night. I was doing skulls, and I have to take I have to kind of like take a break from that for a while I get caught up on the portraits. Trying to do some tutorial videos. I like to to spend some time and make some really nice step-by-step perspective tutorials. That would be pretty sweet. I think so. You may not think so, but I think that'd be pretty sweet. So that's where I'm at. I'm hoping that the next panel on this is going to be better, because this is just atrocious. It's like, as a shape, they're not that good. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's put it this way. I wasn't thinking when I was doing this. I was like, let's do this weird shape that I know is going to make me uncomfortable. And so I was like, I did a weird shape that makes me uncomfortable. Man, that makes me really uncomfortable. I don't like it. Why? Why are you like this shape? Tell me, why did I decide to do something so bad? Okay, I'm gonna be quiet for a second. Never mind. I want to do some crisp lines-ish. Crisp lines. Yeah. Bring them on, crisp lines. Bring it on. I need more coffee, though. So, let's see here. Let us see. Let's see. Yeah. So I don't know why I decided to do this weird shape here. I think at the time when I decided to make this odd shape on this piece, on this painting panel here, I was like, I want to make a really weird large shape, and I just went with a large shape, not really an interesting large shape. I just went with like this large curved shape, and it usually my intuitive hand kind of does a pretty good job on making nice curved forms. I guess my mind hand connection wasn't really up for the challenge for this panel here. Right, this is all arbitrary. You know. All arbitrary. And because it's arbitrary, it really kind of shows in this one specifically because it's just there. And because it's not, I don't know, I'm definitely not doing good clean lines today. Perhaps because I'm overly scrutinizing. It might be the paint. I didn't mix it that well. It's it's coming off kind of like transparent in certain areas because it's really thick. So that might be it. One reason. Perhaps I'm just not that good. Who knows? Who knows, man? Yep. Someone's interrupted my live stream here in the morning. I need to start blocking phone calls or something when I'm doing this. I always forget to deactivate service when I do these live streams. So I always find that to be entertaining. It's like, my live stream's done because I got kicked off because someone decided to call me. I mean, who really? Who's calling me? I'm not that popular. No one's calling me this early in the morning. Stop calling me, bro. Yeah, ugly. Look at this little shape, man. This is ugly. Look at that weird shape. I don't like it. And I am going to go over it hardcore for my next section. Next section of the painting. So I don't know what's going to happen to it, but I know that it's going to be obliterated some form or another. I'm going to have a lot more on top of it because it's just not working. Like, it's not interlacing well with the rest of the painting. You know, some of these other ones are working a little bit better, but this one's just kind of like, blam, here. I'm going to take up this weird spot.
just gonna tuck myself in this spot here, and you're not gonna do anything about it.
Like, oh, well, okay, shape, you just do that. I'm just gonna go and go on the other side of the room and do something else. Just gonna do a little thing here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. No 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 no. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm definitely making weird noises now. Making some weird noise. I just want to drink my coffee. I want a morning where I can drink my coffee and not paint. Or drink my coffee, have breakfast, and then around, 8 or 9, paint for a good 3 hours, draw for a good 3 hours, and then have the rest of the day to myself, family, friends. But no. You just gotta keep working. I'm ranting, I'm sorry. Just gotta keep working. So, man, I just want a break. Give me a break, dude. I want a break from all this. I want to just sit down and have me a beer. Just chillax for a little bit. Please let me do it. Please. Okay. I'm done with that shape. Let's flip it around and finish the small one. Look at that. I think the reason why it makes me, one reason why it makes it a little uneasy is because you have this, it's just like, it's not really fluid. It's like I don't like the shape, I guess, and I didn't like having one, and I put two, and typically I like to put three objects on there. I always felt that was a good number to kind of have on your painting, is if you have abstract shapes kind of just wandering around. And I don't really have anything, I don't know what to do with it other than leave it as is. Maybe I might put another one just so I can kind of have three and put my conscience to mind, or like ease my conscience. Just a little bit, maybe. Maybe that's what I gotta do. Don't know. So the more I'm thinking about it, I might actually do one more shape. One little small shape somewhere. So I have 3. That might solve it a little bit. I don't know. That might make it a little bit more stable as a composition. At least in my mind, it makes it feel more stable as a composition, as opposed to just having 2 shapes. But also, you know, I want to not always lean on certain things, so I'm trying to put me in positions that make me a little bit more uncomfortable, which is why sometimes I do stuff like this. There we go. Yeah, I think I am going to put another shape over here. Maybe let's do something that's a little bit more cool, or at least cooler. Maybe let's have something kind of swooping. So let's see if we can have a swooping form. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do a little party confetti. A little bit of party confetti for the painting. You're like, why would you keep adding more? Well, it can't hurt the piece at this point. Adding another element, visual element, is not going to make it or break it. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, Matt, your piece was going so well, and you decided to put this little weird gummy bear worm thing on top here, and now it looks bad. I'm like, well, you know, you're probably wrong. I think it looked bad to begin with. The only problem that I don't like about what I just did here is that I'm taking away this nice corner that's from this light blue or light gray tone. But at least I'm trying to do something a little bit different. Like this weird like tapeworm thing is, I've had something similar, but not like a tapeworm or a squiggly little like S or E form. So they've appeared in these pieces before, but they're normally one giant loop. So that's a new like thing to kind of try to play around with, I guess. So really what you sometimes are experiencing when you watch these videos is I'm actually always kind of experimenting with these compositions a little bit. And there's always a level of like unknown involved. Like a lot of these things are unknown to me. You know, it can be exciting. It's exciting in the sense that like, oh my gosh, I don't know what the painting's going to look like in the end. It also can be kind of a little bit nerve-wracking, you know, where you're like, I don't know what this piece is going to look like in the end. So it's like a double-edged sword. You're like, I like the fact that I don't know what it's going to look like in the end, but I also don't like the fact that I don't know what it's going to look like in the end. I wish I knew, but perhaps if I knew what it looked like in the end, I'd be less inclined to do it. Just like a lot of, I hate nitpicking on photorealist. Because I love them. They're like so good. But I guess I don't have anything against them. I just like I love their work. I actually follow a lot of them on Instagram. So I don't hate them. I like the work a lot. But me, from an artist standpoint, since I know what the painting's going to look like at the end, like I know that when I paint this photo at this size and I want to make it as close to what the photo is, I know at the end of the day it's going to look like this photo. And me being the like realist artist, I'm like, well, heck, I can just go have a high def photo taken of this image and print it out at the size I'm painting it. And guess what? I saved myself a ton of time. Because it's going to look the same. You know? It's going to look the same. Why would I do that? And I don't know. Like, it depends on your motivation, right? If your motivation is capturing something as real as possible, yeah. But like in my mind, I'm like, that just seems like a whole lot of time for something that's going to be done with a photograph right then and there. I think that's probably the reason why. I think one of the reasons why I appreciate Chuck Close so much is because even though he was a photorealist, his like methodology at the time, or from my understanding, was a weird methodology. At the time that he was doing photorealism, he was doing it in interesting ways. Like all of the other photorealists, like all the ones that you see now, are not doing it the ways that he's doing it. Like the ones you see now are typically doing it in this like, or maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't watch the step by step, but from the photos that I see, photorealist painters now is they're typically, they start out with a really detailed line drawing that they probably project onto the wall using a high definition projector. So they're doing a really intricate form of paint by numbers, right? And then since it's high def, half the information is done for them. They don't have to do a lot of the guesswork. They just have to basically do all labor, right? They just gotta basically follow the paint by numbers method, and boom, they got themselves a good painting. But Chuck Close, if you look at his step-by-step process on how he did his photorealistic paintings, really interesting stuff. He was doing it in RGB. So whenever you see his colored photorealistic paintings, he did one layer. He didn't do a project. First off, he didn't use a projector. He used the old technique called the grid, where he used the grid to transcribe his image onto the surface. And then what he did was he would paint each layer. He would paint 3 layers or more. But what I've noticed is he would paint at least 3 layers. The first layer was done all in red tones. The next one was all in green, and the last one was all in blue. And it was done in such a manner that they mixed together and made the color of the painting that you saw. So that's really what it was. It was super advanced color theory. And that was really interesting to see it at play. But like, I guess deep down inside, maybe I keep on saying this, like I'm hyper jealous of a lot of the photorealists. Like I am. They're super good. I am not dogging their ability to copy an image. What I'm dogging, maybe, I guess, might be is the why. When you are spending thousands of hours on a painting and you can print it out in 30 seconds or you can hire a printer to print it out for you, and it looked the same. You know, why? And maybe, I don't know. I guess the why might be I'm selling these for hundreds of thousands of dollars, Matt. That's why. Well, there you go. There's your why. You know? Nothing against that. I have nothing against it. You know? You should be rewarded for painting, making a painting that is that well made. You should. But gosh, to me, it just sounds awful. Like, it's like insanity to me. Like, for some people would be able to, they'd see the progress, but I would be like, this progress is like a snail's speed. I'm getting closer, but like, it's every day. I'm only working on like 2 inches. 2 to 5 square inches a day on my painting. You know, so that's why. So this is interesting about this type of painting is that, like, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen, and for some people it makes them uneasy. You know, actually a lot. You'd be surprised how many people are uneasy when they don't know what the final outcome of their pieces are going to be. They got to know. It's like, so as a teacher, sometimes I'm teaching and I always say, we'll see what happens. You know, the best step is to just start making the design and see what happens. And you just got to know, you just got to trust the process and keep working. You know, like, you find that you find a lot of people don't want to work on it if they don't know what it's going to look like in the end, because they're afraid that, like, all their labor is going to be for naught, for nil, right? They're afraid that, like, when they work, it's going to be a waste of their time. It's only a waste of time if you think it's a waste of your time. If you come out with something tangible, yeah. If you come out with something tangible, then it wasn't a waste of time. Now, we could make the argument that the piece may or may not be successful. Yes. But you're going to make a lot of bad work. And if you hate every piece of art that you make, then you're going to be in for a rough ride. You know, you're going to be in for a rough ride. But you're going to make a lot of bad work. You're going to make a lot of bad work. And you just got to, like, rope-a-dope the blows, you know? You gotta rope-a-dope the bad work. It's like, oh man, boom, oh that was a bad piece of work. Boom, that was bad work. Oh, there's so many bad work stuff. Right? Because you're gonna make a lot of them. And my sketchbooks are a testament to that. I probably got like 1,000 pages of sketchbook pages of like really bad work. Like, really, really bad. And I want to post them all, but like I just don't, I'm making so much work now that I don't have time to post those things because they're real bad. Like, there's some in there at like every 5th to 10th page, there's like, wow, there's something happening here that's nice. And the other part's like, what is going on? Because I was just filling up pages. I was just filling up junk pages. You know, I remember when I was a kid, I'd have friends who were really good at art that were like better than me, and I was like, man, this sucks. This sucks. This guy is better than me. and I'm working my balls off to get them. I'm working hard to get this stuff to get like something that's like a tenth their level. And I was like, I just don't understand. You know, I was like, I don't know, man. It just comes second nature to me. It just comes second nature to me. I guess one of the skills that I have as an artist is probably grit. It's probably just keep working. You know, I work constantly. You know, and I work constantly, and I don't let external forces dictate the way that my art looks. It's only now that my art is getting movement because people are kind of liking it, and great. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to ride on the coattails. So like, I like painting burgers. I like them. I like painting burgers a lot, but they take a while to do, and they just don't sell. Not the price range that I'm selling them at, I guess. You know, and I'm not trying to say that I'm trying to make be a greedy or anything, but like, man, I'd like to make a living off this. You know, it's like, why do you think the attrition rate for artists is so high? Question: why do you think the attrition rate with artists is so high? It's because a lot of artists don't make any money, and you know, at the end of the day, they're like, I got kids to feed, or I got to feed myself. I can't be painting this on the side and trying to make a living off this. You know, I'm just going to treat it as a hobby, and I'm going to I'm going to make pieces when I want to. And so I understand completely that idea. You know, like well, what was it? A lot of the most famous bodybuilders in the golden era stopped bodybuilding at like 21, you know, or 25. You know, they're all like, "Why'd you stop bodybuilding, man? You're like the best." It's like, well, I was like, we're talking about the 50s before it became like before Arnold's generation, right? We're talking about really early on. I was like, well, you just couldn't make money off it. And it's not like, well, that's just selfish of you. Like, well, man, you gotta understand, like, even by that, I don't know about that. I don't know how stringent their diet was, but I know their diet was vastly more stringent than the average person in America at the time. You know, and because of the lack of knowledge, they trained a lot. Like, at the time of the golden era of bodybuilding, I believe a lot of them were doing like 6 to 8 hours of training. Like, they were doing a full day's worth of work, training all day at the gym. They hung out at the gym. So, like, of course, because at the time they thought that that's what you had to do. So the attrition rate for painting is really high for artists. So I know a lot of artists, or I know a lot of artists, and I know many of them that aren't making work anymore. You know, I grew up with a lot of them, and a lot of them do it on the side or just stop completely. Because it's a lot of work. Because a lot of those artists, what they're doing is that they're going in and doing a 9 to 5, and then they're going home, spending a little bit of time with their family, and then they're going in their studio from like 8 to 12 at night, and then they're waking up and doing their 9 to 5 all over again. And you're like, well, I'm tired. And after like some years of that, and they're not getting much traction. I don't know. I don't know the circumstances, maybe. Or maybe they're like, I just can't afford to do the artwork I want to do, so I just stopped. Who knows? I don't know the motivation. But all I know is the attrition rate for artists is very high. Because a lot of artists, me included, are not natural born salesmen. They don't teach you how to sell, you know? And that's part of it. You have to be a salesman, I guess. But a lot of artists are just like, look at my work, blah, 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 blah. Watch my work. So that's why. I don't know what I was going to say. Yeah, you're just not. There's not taught to be salesmen, and unfortunately, sometimes I guess you see they might have some artist friends who work harder or work less than them, or happen to know someone or were lucky and started selling work like hotcakes. And maybe they got a little bitter. I don't know. Or maybe they worked for 3 or 4 years. They're hustling the art world, going around, wheeling and dealing, talking to people, and they weren't getting any luck, getting any traction, and no one was buying any of their work. And after 3 years or 3 to 5 years of making artwork, and they have a huge library of paintings, right? And a huge library of paintings, and they're just building up stock in their basement, right? Or maybe they're just they like the idea of calling themselves an artist, right? Who knows? Like someone who's at a bar, and they like to go to the chicks, say, I'm an artist. Look at me, I'm an artist. Oh, that's so cool. What kind of art you do? I paint things. No. I don't know. Maybe that might have worked in like the 20s. To say you're like a poet. Maybe there was more respect for the arts back then. I don't know. I always like to say maybe, because it opens the question for possibilities. You know, I like that the idea that you can think up new possibilities. So that's what I tend to do with my class too. Is I look at their work, and then I pose questions to them, because they're usually questions or observations that didn't occur to them. And to be honest, some classes don't like it. You know, they're like they want like straightforward answers. You know, straightforward. It's like the only thing that I teach that's straightforward is pretty much perspective, because that's like as straightforward as possible. Maybe value scales and drawing in tones a little bit, because that's pretty straightforward, because you got transitional value and core shadow, but like all the other stuff is kind of up in the air, right? It's hard to define. It's not necessarily, there's no clear definition of a lot of these things. There's definitions, like you can define it, but they're not like absolutes, you know. So there's like a fine line. Yeah, there's a fine line. And it can be very cute. It can be very confusing for people, you know, when you talk about like large, medium, and small shapes. You talk about overlapping your forms to create spatial depth. You talk about using value scale or value in your drawings or paintings or designs that you don't want to have really dark forms, really large dark forms, unless you want the viewer to, unless you're forcing the viewer or you're demanding the viewer to look at that object, you know, because that will become the focal point, right? Just all kinds of stuff, right? And they sound so simple when I talk about it in class or when I talk about it to another person, but deep down inside it, they're like simple concepts, but like super hard. They're super hard to execute. Like to do them well, yeah. To do these design elements and to do this like abstract design it's really hard because it's so simple. It's hard, right? Like it's like a drummer having to repeat the same beat over and over again consistently without having a hiccup, right? I don't know, like whatever the drummers that go, imagine having to do that for 30 minutes straight, right? It's very simple to do it, but can you do it for 30 minutes straight? I don't know. So I think I'm done today. I just wanted to get one panel done, and I started adding more shapes. I was supposed to be done earlier, but I decided to add 2 more shapes here, and kind of looks like a weird person with a hand and a curly hat. I don't know. But after that, I got a few more panels to work on, and then I'm going to start the next layer. So I'm pretty excited about where these are developing. You know, I got these nice dark tones. I got to be a little wary about the last layer because I'm using a black paint. And I got to test it out. So I got to see I got to see on like the first 3 panels how large I can go with the shapes using the black paint. Because that would determine what scale I use for the next preceding panels. Because if I go when I go large and I see that it's too dominant, it's too powerful visually, then I'm probably going to have to dial it back. I can see that the black paint that I'm going to use is going to be more sparse and less pronounced, simply because I know that if you make a large area with black paint, your eyes are going to be like drawn to it like a black hole. So. That's a simple design device that people don't think about. Like if you just like stick something that's large and it's a black, dark black, it's going to be like, even with all this contrast, it's going to demand a lot of visual real estate. Anyways, I'm done for today. I gotta do some daily planning and hopefully get to drawing some more commissions because I got a big old list of commissions to do. By the way, if you want, I'm taking in commissions and. $10 portraits, pretty good deal. They're selling like hotcakes. So I got a lot of work ahead of me. Have a wonderful day. Take care.